Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm basically gonna show you how we made a "Will you marry me" sign for one of my friends at work. He used it to propose to his girlfriend at a venue in Jersey City. It was pretty easy to make. Basically all we did it with was three 7-foot 2x3s, two round pieces of wood for the base, and we used 2 bolts and some wing nuts to secure it because we had to disassemble it and put it together at the place. All right, we'll let the video play and I'll walk you through what we did. Here we're just sanding down all the 2x3s and basically all the wood we're using, just so the stain that we're going to use will be able to set into it when we're done. And what we're doing now is just basically laying it out to see if the size works. The 2x3s we bought came in 7-foot lengths, and it kind of just worked out that we really didn't have to cut them. So we laid it out and we liked the way it looked with the sign, and we just kept them that length. Now what I'm doing now is just finding the centers of these round bases. I don't know if this is really the right way to find the center. I just measured in and basically found the midway point and just took it from a couple angles to make sure I was in the center. All right, so now we're taking the base, I'm adding a little bit of wood glue, and I'm just attaching the 2x3 into the center of the base with some 2.5-inch screws. I'm just going in at an angle so it'll go into the base, and just gotta make sure you keep the screw up high enough so it won't go through the base into the ground. You really don't want it popping out the bottom. All right, so now I took measurement from the 2x3 down to the edge to cut the supports that I'm gonna have to cut at an angle to just brace the 2x3 so they're not wobbly. So I took that measurement and I cut 4 pieces of 2x3s at a 45-degree angle, so that way they would butt up against the 2x3s that I have mounted on the round bases. You just have to cut them at opposite angles so that way it'll sit flat. And once you have all them cut, I added a little bit of wood glue, and for the part that was going to face the people, I just screwed in from the back, and that way you won't see the screws. On the other side it didn't really matter because no one would see it, so I just screwed in from the front. So I put 2 screws in just to hang the piece of wood up top to get a look at it, see kind of where we wanted to mount it. And once I found out where we wanted to mount it, I just put the piece of 2x3 on the floor and measured 10 inches in from each side to prepare to drill the holes for the bolts. And we're using 1/2-inch bolts, so I got a 1/2-inch bit, and I'm going to drill holes on each side of the 2x3. That way we could mount it, put the bolts through, and use the wing nuts to attach it. Next, I drilled the holes in the 2x3s that are standing on the round bases. We just measured up to the height we wanted on both sides and drilled them out. And here we are just test fitting it. As you can see, it's pretty easy to put together. The idea was one of his family members was going to bring it ahead of time and set it up, so we wanted to make it as easy as possible. All right, next we basically stained all the pieces and wiped off the excess and let it dry. And lastly, we're just putting it together and kind of setting up the sign and the fabric we was going to drape over it to see how it would look at the menu. And if you keep watching, you'll see the finished product and the proposal.
Yeah, I mean, if you have another one, you could drape down from the right side, you know?